Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Morning Rounds. This is Dr. Ruddy. The subject for today's Morning Rounds is there a link between breast cancer and lymphoma? I'd like to dedicate this video to Cindy Naylor. She left a comment yesterday on the video that I posted about the increased risk of lymphoma in women with breast implants. Cindy shared with us that she was diagnosed with breast cancer last summer. She underwent a double mastectomy and she had reconstruction. She had the textured implants placed, which was why she was interested in the video that I created. And she said that she had an infection in the right implant and that she was on antibiotics for 3 months. She's better now, but she says that her right breast just doesn't feel the same. She's obviously concerned about the fact that she has these textured implants, and she said she was going to make an appointment with her plastic surgeon so that she could be evaluated as having an increased risk for this rare form of lymphoma I was talking about yesterday. And then as an aside, Cindy said that lymphoma runs in her family, and she wanted to know whether or not there was any link between the two. Well, yes, Cindy, there is a link, it appears. There have been scientists working on the relationship between breast cancer and lymphoma at least since 1936. In 1936, Dr. John Bintner, who was a researcher at Jackson Memorial Laboratory in Bar Harbor, Maine, discovered a virus that causes breast cancer in mice, and that virus was thereafter found to cause lymphoma in mice. And over the past 100 years or so, scientists have increasingly published data and evidence that indicates that breast cancer virus plays a role in 40 to 94% of human breast cancer, and it looks like it also plays a role in causing human lymphoma, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. If you want to learn a little bit more about the breast cancer virus and lymphoma, I would suggest that you use this link, I'll provide it, to a video that is housed at the National Library of Medicine. The videotape is of a presentation that Professor James Holland of Mount Sinai Medical School gave at the 60th anniversary celebration of the National Institutes of Health's Clinical Center. And the Clinical Center is the largest cancer research hospital in the world, and it was built 63 years ago. Dr. Holland was one of the first people to walk through the door. Since then, he has been one of the world leaders on the research on the breast cancer virus, and the National Institutes of Health invited Professor Holland to give what really was the keynote address on his research on the breast cancer virus. So let me just pause and provide this footnote. The NIH would not have invited Professor Holland to give this very important address on this very important occasion if the scientists and the leadership at the NIH did not endorse it. So you might not be so familiar with it, and it may not have widespread traction out there in the race for the cure land, but in Bethesda there are plenty of scientists you can see in the audience who are very enthusiastic about this research. And Professor Holland takes you through the history and also speaks briefly about the relationship between this breast cancer virus and lymphoma. 2 years ago, I think it was 2 years ago now, Professor Holland, who's the former president of the American Association for Cancer Research, very prestigious. He's also the past president of the American Society for Clinical Oncology, very prestigious. And he presented data in which he said that he had found this breast cancer virus in the malignant fluids of 94% of the women he examined who had stage 4 breast cancer. Now, if you want to read more about the history of the breast cancer virus, then I will post a link where you can get the book called Of Mice and Women, Unraveling the Mystery of the Breast Cancer Virus. And if you would like to watch a preview of the documentary film that LA producer Steve Zuckerman is making about the breast cancer virus and a breast cancer vaccine, then I'll provide a link where you can see the trailer for the movie. So one last thing, you remember a couple of videos ago, I told you about my personal trainer, Charlene Cercile, who's also a fashionista, who told me to get rid of my eyeglasses and keep the red lipstick. Well, I said that Charlene gives me my monthly invoice posted on the front of the latest fashion magazine. So here is the invoice. It came in my workout bench today. You can't really see it. I covered up the cost because that's TMI. But there it is, Charlene's homegrown video. It's a post-it with what I owe her on the cover of Elle. And so I said to her, well, Charlene, what is the #1 fashion item for the spring? And she said she didn't know, but she would get back to me. So Charlene, we are waiting. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, follow, post your questions below, share the video, and I'll get back to you in the next couple of days. Have a great weekend. Thumbs up to you and thumbs down to breast cancer.